Marissa, would you have any tips or any little tidbits in your experience you'd like to add?
Well, along the lines of what Art was just speaking about, we had an incident on Saturday night in which a city or jurisdiction, which will go unnamed, did put out an alert with Alert San Diego, which crossed multiple jurisdictions. So for the example of the training of the people who will actually be issuing the notification, the training has to be kept up, as already mentioned. We hope that we will not use these, and if you have to use them for recalling staff as part of a drill, not notifying the entire student body, but notifying staff for callback, that would be an appropriate use to exercise. Now, with the jurisdiction, what they did on Saturday night was not only cross multiple jurisdictions, but also issue the notification for one missing individual who happened to be an Alzheimer's patient or Alzheimer victim or patient. No, anyway, the point being is they issued it at 10 o'clock at night when the person went missing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the residents of multiple jurisdictions called the sheriff's department, who had no knowledge that the jurisdiction issued the notification because they did not tell anyone that they were putting it out, nor follow it up with a press release or anything. So we had, unfortunately, some discussions about whether it was imminent. And yes, one person's life was at stake, but did it need to go out at 10 o'clock at night while people are retiring for the evening? And so in our unfortunate circumstance, my personal opinion is that was setting us up for failure, because if the next time that city issues a notification that does have, an imminent threat and lives are at stake, I don't know if the residents will be as receptive to hearing
Right.
that message come through on their phone.
Right, and then that begs the question, why was there that hesitancy that they waited until 10 o'clock? And yeah, no, that's happened to me a couple of times in my system too.
Dave, would you have a tip or two?
Yeah, a couple of things. Kind of piggybacking on other comments made. When we move forward, the systems that we have can be used for multiple uses. You could inform a student if a class has been canceled for the day. You can tell them about the big game coming up. But we decided to market it up front. This is an emergency management system for safety purposes only. And even though we've had queries from campuses, can we use it for this or that? We've emphasized to all staff that have access to the system, this is only for approved situations. And we also emphasized on the website when we asked students to provide their information that, again, this will only be used for or situations involving your safety. We're not going to send you messages about activities on campus or something going on that's not related to emergency or a safety issue. So that's why I believe that 90% of our students did give us their information, because they know they're not going to be getting messages daily or weekly from one of our colleges about events that they may have no interest in. So I think it's really important to emphasize that if you're in the process of reviewing or procuring a system, is keep focused on that. It's for a specific purpose, even though it can be used for other things. I think it's easier to sell and get funding for if it's for safety, because people all know that that's important. And if all it would take is one event, I think that if we were to send all students a message that wasn't related to a situation, then I think we'd have a lot of students just tuning out in the future. So I think that's important. The other thing that it relates to mass notification, and again, we ran into this one situation, is that you need to look at holistically at all the technology you use on a typical campus like ours. The janitors, they unlock the doors at 7 a.m. and the teachers come and go and students come and go, and then at 10 p.m. or thereabouts, the night janitors go and lock all the offices up. Well, if we send out an alert that there's a situation on campus, as we had the one situation prior to us going live, well, the deans had to run around letting faculty know what was going on, and students were texting each other. But the faculty did not have any keys to lock any of the doors, so even though we have a shelter in place, if we have the roving gunman running around on campus, what do? You barricade the doors. So you need to have some thought given to technologies for access control. There's some automated ways of doing it. They're fairly expensive, but we're just now exploring, policies and how do we do this. In this situation, deans had to run around with their keys, locking doors for individuals, and then people were advised to stay in the classroom, but that process took a significant amount of time. So, what do you do if you're told to be shelter in place? So, each scenario will bear out different processes, but we found little holes in the schema. Okay, we've notified you, now what do? You flee to your cars and drive off campus and try not to hit anybody, or, you know, so we're looking at other technologies and other processes and things we can put in place to hopefully solve that issue.
Thanks, Dave. I would like to reserve the last minute for our partners from Cal-EMA. That's my preference between the two votes.
Okay.
Jay and Mark,
Duly
if you
noted.
all.
Duly noted, thank you. Just an update on how to get in contact with us as we continue to try to do our best to partner with you in the alert and warning system from the state, and being that go-between as well with our federal partners, which sometimes does cause us some consternation and other times provide some great rewards. The Homeland Security and the OES websites are still both there and functioning. They'll take you back and forth. We have a Cal-EMA webpage which will take you to OES or OHS. We are in the process, our shop is in the process of trying to merge Homeland Security content into the OES site for now, as well simultaneously we're going down the track of coming up with a brand new Web 2.0 web page and website that will be more interactive, more hopefully fulfilling, and more efficient than the current system as we go through this. As you can imagine, creating a new state agency during times of budget crisis is challenging, to say the least. So we are trying to maximize the amount of work and effort and efficiency that's being done with the minimum amount of taxpayer dollars, yet still trying to come up with a brand, a logo, a website that will be sustained and people can be proud of, and people can be it can be user-friendly beyond the next couple of years for the next 5, 10, 15. So that is the process we're underway. For the meantime, your contacts should remain the same. Whoever you've been dealing with in our offices, continue to do that. We're still trying to do the job. Mark is here down south. We've got a number of us up north. And I ask for your patience as we go through this. And again, in the meantime, you can still get to OHS and OES or Cal-EMA. They'll all get you to the same spot right now.
I believe they call that the paradox of going slow to move fast. But
Yes.
I believe that there are some vendors. I believe there is a light lunch, and I believe that's a couple buildings away. I'm not exactly sure. The signage has been great, and the LA City College, Community College folks have just been wonderful, and we really appreciate you all being here.